After stepping in what seemed like every puddle in that field, I started to regret my decision to travel to the house on foot. I kept telling myself that since I could see the house, it wouldn't be too much longer. But then, like a big white ball of reason, the moon reminded me that, like so many other things in life, something could be in plain sight and still be so far away. The old house belonged to Lola's uncle, Johnny Giordano, an old Sicilian friend of mine from the force. He was a crooked detective with a big mouth. There wasn't a man on the beat that didn't know about his million stashed away somewhere on that property. Rumor had it that on his deathbed, Johnny told Lola where the million was. When Lola didn't answer my calls tonight, I assumed the worst. I decided to check inside the house. Maybe it was the lingering scent of her perfume in the air, or maybe I was still hung up on that time we played backseat bingo in her daddy's Dodge. But whatever the reason, my gut told me that Lola was still alive. I found Lola tied up in the basement. She was alive all right, but it looked like they roughed her up some. They must have been sweating her for information about her uncle's million. I always thought she was a tough kid, but these thugs weren't playing fair. Just then I heard footsteps coming down the stairs, so I stood against the wall and took out my heater. If there were more than one of these thugs, I was going to have to play it safe and keep quiet. Besides, it'd be more fun to sneak up on these creeps and do them just like they did Lola. Plus, I didn't want Lola to see anything too messy. I gave her my piece just in case the brute were to wake up. I wasn't sure if she had ever used one before, but her eyes lit up when I placed the cold steel in her hands. I ducked outside and had a look around. I could hear someone mucking around by the shed. I knew if I was careful, he'd never even hear me coming. Piece of cake. There was a pit in the center of the garage, and I nearly fell in. It was too dark and dusty in the shed, and I couldn't tell how deep it was. I saw a dirty suitcase next to the pit, so I thought I'd take a look inside. Giordano, you dog. The pit must have been where Giordano had hid the suitcase. It was dark and there seemed to be no bottom in sight, so I thought I'd check it out. As I stood over that pit, I got this strange feeling that this was no treasure hunt. It felt more like a setup. "4 feet, only 2 feet shy of a grave." As I lay dying in that shallow grave, I realized that I couldn't ask for a better way to go. I figure I'm one of the lucky ones on account of the last face I see being such a pretty one. Old Johnny Giordano had the last laugh, though. What he forgot to mention to everyone was that the million was in Italian lire, and when converted to the US dollar, it was nowhere near what we had all expected. But that was old Johnny for you.
Here, take it back.